That's not going on the special. I'm gonna cut that part out. I've been in New York for 7 years now. I love it. It's weird how many things you just kind of know as a New Yorker. Like if you see one subway car that is mysteriously empty, it's because there's a man jerking off on it, right? You're either told that or you learn that. I was the latter. I had been in New York for 1 week. I was at Penn Station. It was rush hour. Every car was jammed. I see one that looks empty. I dash inside. Doors close behind me. I look around. I don't see anyone on the car. And I was so excited, I started jerking off. I was like, I get to be that guy. I've always wanted to be that guy. I grew up in the South. I don't have the accent. It's very disappointing. My voice sounds like why Mitt Romney lost. I was like, ha-ha. Some of my best friends are corporations. Not very flavorful. I'm a Jew. Woo! Nice. I don't look super Jewish. I am asymptomatic. I look like our natural predator, if anything. And it's weird time for the Jews. Strange time right now. There's been a recent uptick in anti-Semitism the last 3,000 years, so it's getting tense. And I'm always frustrated by the ignorance of it. It's always just wild, baseless claims like, oh, Jews secretly run the media and the weather and the banks. And it's like, the banks isn't a secret. That one... We're pretty out there with that. Goldman Sachs, we put our name on the building twice. It's very overt. All of them. Lehman Brothers, Solomon Brothers, Bear Stearns. Oh, J.P. Morgan. Did you know J.P. stands for Jewish people? Did you know that? There's just so many Jews. Like, we can't even list them. Just Jewish people. Oh, and that one Goy Morgan. He's just here to hold down the fort on Yom Kippur. That's his whole job. Jew is a fun word, huh? It's a weird word. It's a last name. Did you know that? I went to Jewish summer camp with a kid named Ben Jew. That's a real person. And Joey Matzah. Those are real people. I sound like an undercover Klansman trying to just make up stuff. I'm like, yeah, I went to Jew camp with Ben Jew and Joey Matzah and Dreidel Bagelstein. But here is what I think is weird about the word Jew. Typically, a slur takes a proper ethnic term and shortens it. Like, I can't list them, but you know them all. But Jew is already compact, right? So people get weird. Like, am I allowed to say Jew? Is that okay? I'm like, yeah, Jew. Jew is fine. Jew is great. So long as it's a noun, right? I'm a Jew. You're a Jew. It's the adjectives and verbs that'll get you in trouble. Like, yeah, my Jew lawyer tried to Jew me out of $5,000. I'm like, whoa! No. My Jewish lawyer tried to jip me out of $5,000. See? It's better because it offends a smaller, less powerful group of people. That's a fun joke to tell. Because a lot of stuff has to go right? To even get the joke, you gotta know some stuff, some history, some etymology, and then to laugh, you have to be a bad person. So that sweet spot, just educated and amoral. That's the fan base I'm trying to cultivate. I'm a Southern Jew. I learned my great-grandparents immigrated from Poland to Alabama because they didn't know anything about it, apparently. They're like, it ranked #1 in alphabetic. I do, as a Jew, I like it here. I feel like this is our place. There's so many Jews here. We got all kinds of Jews in New York City. We got the regular Jews, Hasidic Jews. Those are the ones who look like they're wearing all of their clothes at once to avoid checking a bag, you know? In the South, very few Jews, and more anti-Semitism, which is very frustrating to me. How can you hate Jews when you've never even met the most annoying ones, you know? Come on. Southern anti-Semitism, it's speculative, it's abstract. It's like a liberal arts degree. They're like, I hate the Jews. I'm like, all right, what conspiracy blog did you read? When a New Yorker is like, I hate the Jews, I'm like, okay, what'd your landlord do this week? Let's hear it. I grew up around very few Jews. I went to a Christian high school in Atlanta, Georgia. Very preppy, very waspy, just like a on three, 1, 2, 3, states' rights. Like it was that kind of, you know. Our mascot was Andrew Jackson. It was that kind of. It's only racist if you're well read, but it was, yeah. It was like old money. It was like all the kids had last names as first names. The girls were named Reagan mostly, but the guys, first names. Townsend, Whitaker, Chambliss, Matthews, with an S. I'm Matthew. He triple word scored my name. That felt personal. My favorite was my first day there. This guy walks up, just tall, all-American, big smile. He goes, "Hi, welcome to Love It. My name's Spalding Walters." I was like, no, it's not. That's a LLC, I'm pretty sure. What are you, one person or the two guys who heckle the Muppets? Spalding Walters, huh? Where are your friends Ritz-Carlton and Courtyard Marriott? Where are they hiding? Huh? Hey, isn't it fun, by the way, how rich white people, their name is 2 last names, but poor white people, their name is 3 first names? You ever know? Like, hi, my name's Jimmy Johnny Jeremy Jr. But you can call me JJJJJJ. Shit, that's too many J's. Jews can't do last names as first names. Just says, hi, Goldberg Greenberg. Have a very Hava Nagila, or whatever. I digress. I was the only Jew at a Christian school. That was tough. I was bullied. I was called names. I was excluded because I was a Jew. And then my senior year, we had a new student. His name was Mateo. He was also Jewish. And within 2 semesters, he was class president and prom king, which that is a rough way to learn that your classmates are not anti-Semitic. Ah, damn, all right. It's not Jew, it's me. Great. Did not ask for a control variable. Turns out none of them hated Jews. And then he showed up, and then I did a little. He made me anti-Semitic. I was like, too many Jews around here. You ever notice that? I say we get rid of half of them. I'm Jewish and Cajun. I'm Cajun on my dad's side. Rare mix. Those two groups don't get along very well. Here's how much Cajuns hate Jews. They designed all of their food so that Jews can't eat it. Every dish is either shellfish or pork. All of it. Shrimp creole, crawfish etouffee, jambalaya, gumbo, boudin. You know how not kosher boudin is? It's made of ground up pork wrapped in pages of the Old Testament. And it's, delicious. Amazing. I've tried it. Worth going to Jewish hell. Jewish hell, it's 60 degrees, and you don't have a sweater, and your mom's there, and she's like, where's your sweater? But it's not so bad. It's a white-collar hell, you know? It's Catholic heaven. Jewish hell is Catholic heaven. Cajuns, we are not a proud people. I went online. I wanted to see who was the most famous Cajun person. Found the answer. Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres is Cajun, and you didn't know that because she doesn't mention it. She is out of the closet, but still stuck in the spice rack. That is the stigma of my people. And Cajuns, if you aren't familiar, we're a race of drunk rednecks from Louisiana who are both bilingual and illiterate. They speak French. Cajuns speak French. My dad spoke it, his parents spoke it, and I took 4 years of French, so I'm not fluent, but if you write something in French, I can look at it and be like, hey, that's French? Look at that, wow. People ask, do you speak French? I'm like, un poquito, yes. Es muy cilantro. And people say French is a dying language. I say, not fast enough. Here's my beef with French, my boeuf, if you will, and I won't. The words are longer than they sound like they need to be. Every French word, it's just a gangbang of letters. There's like 12 of them, but only 3 are actually doing something. The other 9 are just hanging around like, hey, I'm just excited to be here. Remember the first time you saw hors d'oeuvres on paper? You're just like, is that horse divorce? What is that? Is this my Gmail password or? You couldn't have French Wheel of Fortune. That wouldn't work. They're like, okay, it's a 7-letter word. You're like, yeah, I'd like an A. Yeah, there's 19 A's. What? Okay. What about an X? Yeah, there's an X at the end doing fucking nothing. Just soaking up unemployment. Like, huh. What about an apostrophe? What about them? Buddy, we got apostrophes. They're like underneath letters. There's a C with a goatee. We don't know what that's for. Best example of the inefficiency of French phonetics. Their word for water is O, which is spelled E-A-U, which looks like it sounds like Sylvester Stallone lost for words. Like, that's the sound you make when you forgot the name of the person you're singing happy birthday to. Like, happy birthday to... Happy birthday. But this word is pronounced O, and it's spelled with 3 different vowels, none of which are O. Do vowels unionize in France? The reason I get so worked up about this is because I had to study Hebrew for my bar mitzvah, and what makes Hebrew very difficult is there are no vowels in the Hebrew alphabet. No vowels. If you ever wanted proof of how cost efficient the Jews are, at some point in our history, someone asked, "Would you like to buy a vowel?" And we're like, oh. I think we're good. I think we're all right, yeah. No guac on this burrito. Thank you very much. Or we had vowels at some point, and we just sold them wholesale to the French in the great vowel movement. Whatever. My dad wasn't very proud of his heritage. He had like the Bobby Boucher accent as a kid, like real thick, and he wanted to become a chemist, and he got rid of his accent because he thought it would make him sound stupid. I wish he had kept it. I've never met an openly Cajun scientist, and I would pay to see just some guy bumbling around in a seersucker lab coat, just like, ooh, that's a spicy electron. That's a... You know, DNA analysis tells us a crawfish just a lobster whose mama also his cousin. Like, is that true? He's like, and he spits in a beaker, and pew, Zatarans. You know? He's not. My dad passed away a couple years ago, which is very sad. But fortunately, my mom is bipolar, so it's nice. Like I still have 2 parents. You know, who's gonna pick up the? Okay. Y'all got weird. No, that's my pain. That's not your pain. Don't pull back. Don't do that. Don't groan. Don't rob me of my catharsis. Oh, like you're a good person. My mom laughs at that joke. Fuck all of you. My mom loves that joke. But my mom hates that joke. Not her favorite, but probably her favorite. She is bipolar. She's been doing a lot better the last 6 hours. I think things are really on the mend. 77 years old, tiny little Jewish lady. No boundaries anymore. No boundaries, no filter. We were in line together at the grocery store. It was me and my mom. We were at the self-checkout. There was a woman at the machine next to us who was about my age. She had 3 kids, all the same size, running around her. My mom looks at her and goes, "Triplets?" She goes, "Uh-huh." She goes, "Vaginal?" That was the first 2 words of that conversation. Just walking up to strangers point blank at Safeway like, "That pussy semi-automatic or what? What you got? You got that ooh-wop? You got that brah-brah-brah? Brah. Boop. Boop. Brah. Boop. That was a cute story, right? This next one is not. I was visiting my mom in Atlanta. I had to drop her off at the airport. 10 minutes later, she calls. She says, "Hey, come pick me up." I'm not getting on the flight. I ask, "What happened?" She says, "I'll tell you when you get here. Here's what happened. She went to check in. She was holding her dog. The attendant told her she did not have the proper paperwork to bring a canine on the plane. And she's an old white lady, so she argued, but she's also a little bit senile, and she forgot the word manager, so she instead said, 'Let me speak to your master.'" Almost. Close. What race was the attendant? I'll give you a hint. It was the Atlanta airport. So, the same race as all of the attendants who stopped what they were doing and go, "What the fuck did you just say?" What the fuck did you just say? And they came out from behind the counter to yell at her in her face. And now I am unwittingly the getaway driver. And aiding and abetting a hate crime. And we're in the car, and I ask, okay, well, how did you apologize? And she said, apologize? I said, did you tell them it was a mistake, that you were sorry? She says, well, why would I do that? I was already in trouble. She's not wrong. There's no way out of that. Besides, like, undercover boss. Cameras hidden everywhere. I'm your master. Okay. My fear is that someone filmed that. Because if you put that video online, she would be a meme, like a Hall of Fame meme. Like, that would be my biggest credit. People are like, wait a second, your mom is Karen Carry-On? No fucking way, dude. Big fan, JetBlue Lives Matter, you know. I want to share something with all of you. My mom sent my fiance a birthday card this year. And I would just like to read it to you. For context, it was my fiance's birthday this year. Dear Laura, almost sent it to wrong address. Deleted old one, so no more mix-ups. You know, the hardest part of writing is just getting started. It really is. Just put pen to paper, see what comes out. Sounds like all is going well for you with work. You were such a go-getter. I know that is some of the many reasons Matthew loves you so much. Thanks for keeping him so happy. My role is definitely over, and I am learning to accept it. Told the boys to grow up and fly away, and they did. Have a happy day, and question, is that a birthday card or a suicide note? I didn't know there was a fuzzy delineation between those two. She sent my fiance a goddamn concession speech. Enjoy your birthday and enjoy my son, you little sluts. Keep changing her address, I'll keep finding you. Got engaged recently. Thank you so much. She's a dominating personality, my fiance. She used to be a professional athlete. I'm not good at sports. I know I look like I rode for Slytherin, you know, brooms as oars, but she was a professional swimmer, very, very good national champion, collegiate champion, silver at Worlds, and she's retired now and adjusting to life on land, but very much still looks like an athlete. She's tall, you know, like muscular, but still, you know, feminine, like skinny waist, childbearing shoulders, very, I feel very safe in her arms. And we're similar in size, which there's nothing wrong. I'd fuck her. I don't know what to say. She's great. But the downside to that is the thing a lot of straight guys like to do is you give your girl your shirt to sleep in, and it fits her very baggy and billowy, and that makes you feel very manly and protective. And when she puts on one of my shirts, it's like, that's how that should fit. Yeah, look at that. It's perfect. Sleeve length, collar. You keep that. You earn that. You know what? Here's my lunch money. Don't hurt me. And she swam her whole life, which means all the guys she dated before me, not just swimmers, very good ones. Like her last boyfriend was a sprinter, so 50 freestyle, 100 freestyle, a little bit of backstrokes and butterfly also. And he went to collegiate nationals. He had Olympic trials cuts. I only Googled him for a few hours, but very speedy guy from what I could sleuth up. Real swift fella. And fun fact about this dude, 6'7", which you would think that would be intimidating, that your fiance's ex-boyfriend is a 6'7" elite swimmer. But the cool part is that we can just sleep in his old shirts. Very, very nice. Comes to right above the knee. Goes, woo. She's tall too. She wears size 11 shoes. And I did not know this. Women's shoe stores only carry up to size 10, so she has to buy all of her shoes online on a website called, how mean is this? Amazon.com. Isn't that a silly one? That's a silly one. That joke is all about delivery. And if you don't get it, you will in 1 to 2 days. You will get that delivery. Any Any women with size 11 or larger shoes in the audience? I ask because I'm a pervert. Cool. What? I see both of you here. Size 11 and size 11. And a half. How tall are you?
6 feet.
6 feet, so pretty tall. Okay. And yourself?
5'4".
Whoa! You should be the swimmer. That propulsion to mass ratio. It's like a V12 on a jet ski. Can I ask, have you had children in your life? Did you go up a shoe size after childbirth? Okay, I've learned that does happen. Each time? How many kids did you have? See, used to be an 8.5. Did you know that women's shoe sizes go up during childbirth? I think it's all the pushing. His toes popping through. I think women's shoe sizes are fucked up. Clothing sizes too, because they're like twos. It's like a size 6, 4, 2, 0. But then you can be smaller than a 0, and then it switches. It's 00, 000, and so on. How creepy is that? That as you get smaller, your clothes go, oh. Ooh. Ooh. I feel very bad for women. I know they have impossible standards of beauty to try to uphold, ridiculous things like they're supposed to have no leg hair, no armpit hair, no nipple hair, and then eyebrows like Eugene Levy. That's just can't be bushy enough. Gotta be, just be chemotherapy from the neck down, and then Yiddish librarian. Just Yiddish librarian, they go, shh, but it's spelled SCHHHH. It's a very visual joke. My fiance was not an Olympian. This is a tough subject. So 2 months after we started dating, she went to the U.S. Olympic trials. She was ranked #1 in the country in her event, and she didn't swim the way she needed to, and she didn't make the team. And that is very painful when a person works their entire life at one goal and misses, and you've only been dating that person for 2 months. That was a lot for me to deal with on our 7th date. I don't know. What do you say to that? But hey, sorry you failed at your dreams. Also, what's your middle name? Mine's Lawrence. Isn't that embarrassing? Do you have any food allergies? Do you believe in God anymore? I thought she was going to make the team, and I was prepared for that mentally. I mean, she would go to the Olympic Village, which is where all the athletes drink and party and hook up, and in my mind, I was like, hall pass. I don't need to know what happens, and if she does sleep with someone, she better get pregnant, because whatever she pops out, I'm gonna raise like my flesh and blood. Those are scholarship sperm, you understand? I'll be the loudest dad at field day. Just, that's my son! People are like, looks a lot like Usain Bolt. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, people said that about me at that age. Sure did. Some still do. Now she has a real job. She works in tech. She does very well. I made a mistake of looking at her tax documents. I learned she makes 4 times what I do. So I am a feminist. Yeah. People are like, what kind of feminist are you? Intersectional, third wave? I'm like, indentured? Is that a category? I'm pro-choice because I'm not ready to be a mom. You understand? I don't want to lean on her financially, but in case of emergency, break the glass ceiling. That's pretty clever, right? That's my bumper sticker that I put on my laptop because I don't own a car. And it's a weird feeling. It's a weird feeling. I used to struggle to find a balance between being a good boyfriend and my job. And now being a good boyfriend is I'm only here because she approved my PTO. I'm on call right now. And I love this job. I really do. I'm really grateful to be up here. This is my dream. But because of her salary, this is just a cute hobby. That's all this is. Everything I'm doing can be summed up by her at a cocktail hour. Being like, honey, come show me a little trick. Come on, do you want your little skits, you know? It's changed my motivations. I used to work out for fitness. Now I work out for job security. I gotta keep this ass tight. If I get shredded, so does the prenup. That's my thin spo. And she doesn't understand how much power she now has over me. She asked me recently, would you ever leave me? And I said, it would have to be a competitive offer. I'm not I'm not jumping ship for nothing. Not trying to be some entry-level fuckboy, just freelancing sans dental. Here's the twist in this saga. I've been doing comedy for about 12 years now. I've been with her for almost 8 years. 3 years ago, she started doing stand-up comedy also, which means she watched me do this for 5 years and was like, seems easy enough. All right. Scoot, 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 scoot. And I always wanted my work to be inspiring, not in a Rudy kind of way. And it's weird for me because now people see that I'm dating a comedian. They're like, oh, look at this guy, shits where he eats. It's like, that's not fair. I was already pooping, and she broke down the door and started force feeding me French fries. You know, I didn't fuck in my workplace. She worked in my fuck place. That's not what it looks like, officer. And she was very secretive about it at first. She didn't tell me, and then when I figured out, she wouldn't let me watch. And then we got booked on a show together, and I was nervous going in, and I got to see her perform, and it was an awesome moment for us, for her, for me, because she's good. She really is. But even better, she is not as good as me, which, woo, thank God. Strong act, but don't quit our day job, you know? Someone has to pay 3/4 the rent around here. And it's not gonna be me. We fight a little bit. We fight, I think, a healthy amount. We've been fighting because she learned the word gaslighting recently. That's been a real thorn in my side. Gaslighting is when I say something she disagrees with, apparently. No. Gaslighting is when she's losing an argument. No, gaslighting, no, it's a real thing, it's a serious thing. Gaslighting is a form of emotional manipulation where you repeatedly lie to someone to sow self-doubt. And I don't do that. I've never done that. But she accuses me of gaslighting so much, I'm starting to believe her. Maybe I am gaslighting. Perhaps I am the gaslighter. Here's a fun game. Next time your partner accuses you of gaslighting, say, it's actually gas lamping, and then hide their phone, cut off the router. Give them no factual basis for dispute, right? It's gonna get heated, but stick with it, and she'll find you the next day. And she'll be like, see, I looked online, it's gaslighting. Be like, yeah, I said gaslighting, you said gas lamping, and really commit until she cracks. It's a great way to gain the upper hand psychologically. I saw the most recent Batman movie. The Riddler is my favorite villain, but I was disappointed in the casting. I don't think the Riddler should be a man. The Riddler is a villain who tortures his victims by making them solve puzzles he already knows the answer to. I think a woman is more qualified for that role. I think Lady Riddler would crush that. Just, if you want to save Gotham, you have 3 hours to figure out why I'm mad at you. For the whole movie. He's like, can you just tell me? She's like, no, but I'll give you a hint. It's not the reason I said. It's something vaguely related to that. The bat signal is just a dim lamp that says, it's fine. Says it's fine? I don't think a man could be the Riddler. When has a man learned he knows something you don't and not explained it immediately? If the Riddler was a man, he wouldn't give you time to answer. Like, do you know how the blockchain works? I'll tell you how the blockchain works. My fiance points out stuff I wouldn't catch on my own. We were at our place. It was me, my fiance, her name's Laura, our friend Harry, and his boyfriend, and we were watching Queer Eye on Netflix, and I was really excited. I was like, I like this show. I like how it's not just entertaining, it's also very inclusive. And she goes, no, it's not. I say, what? She says, this show is just men taking the advice that women had been giving them for years. They only listen when they hear it from another man. And I said, no, I disagree. I don't think that's true. And then Harry chimes in. He says, Matthew, there have been several studies showing that men are more likely to dismiss ideas when they hear them from women. And I said, Harry. That is a great point. That is a really, wow. You've opened my eyes. Thank you, Harold. I was blind, but now I see. And then Laura said something. I think she starts our fights. And she thinks I start the fights. That's pretty normal. What do we think for straight couples? Who thinks men start the fight? No? Who thinks women start the fight? A lot of braver single guys. All right. Right there. Oh, wow. That's your girl, too. The fight you have later, that is your fault. We know that one. Just saw a bear trap. Just stuck your head into it. All right. I don't know the answer. I don't know there is an answer. I did do some research online, because I'm petty, and I learned something fun. I learned when two men get married, they have the lowest rate of divorce. Straight couples have a slightly higher rate of divorce, and lesbians have the highest rate of divorce. And my first thought was, well, it looks like we've isolated the driving variable here, huh? Sounds like a correlation. Mathematically, there are two of me, there'd be less riddles to solve. And listen, if you're a woman and that offends you, I understand, but you can't be mad at me. Those are the stats that comes from a real study that I cherry-picked to reinforce my preconceived notions. It's tough dating a jock. She's just very intense about some weird stuff sometimes. She told me one time she doesn't like to 69 because she takes it too competitively. Which, if you're not laughing, you're not picturing that. All right, let's do this. First one to come is gay. Like, it's pretty hot. You're probably gonna win. My money's on you, slugger. You're my horse in this race. You're my stallion. Okay, don't pull back on this part. It's the vulnerable time. I cannot make my fiance come. Don't you make her come. It's hard. Also, don't need your advice after the show. That is not an invitation for home remedies. I've tried it, all of it. Small circles, the alphabet, the Hebrew alphabet, club soda, all of it. Intermittent fasting, everything besides listening. So what we do, and a lot of couples do this, we use a vibrator during sex so she can also get off. Yeah. Woo! Bring home the jets, boys. We're calling in a drone strike. Don't you love it when the teacher lets you use a calculator on the exam? It's the best, Work smarter, not harder. That's fuck me smarter, smarter, smarter. It's great. Saves me a lot of work. Closest I do to foreplay is just plug that thing in the night before. That's my job. Which I don't just stick it in. I try to tease the socket a little first. Like, oh yeah, you want that. But you can't have that, make you beg for it. Stick it in a little, pull it out. Just stick it in a little. Start an electrical fire. That's what I mean. Does it bother me? No. No, she thinks it bothers me. That bothers me. I don't like that. She'll try to reassure me afterwards. She'll be like, you made me come. I'm like, I did not. I was there, saw the whole thing. She's like, well, you helped. I was like, cool. So me and the vibrator get to split the commission on this deal. We did it together like some ragtag renegade cop duo. Just, he's white and uptight. It's curvy and purple. There, Turner and Cooch. This Novemberary. There, Tango and Gash. That's a deep cut. Woody and Buzz. Okay. I got a fleshlight recently. That was exciting. Haven't used it yet. We just store her vibrator in it. Just a vest. I'm happy she's getting off. That's the important part. I understand I'm not really contributing here. I'm like the DJ Khaled of orgasms. I shout my name at the beginning and then let someone else do all the work. That's fine. Because I can't compete with that technology. It works amazing. Sometimes she gets off twice and I'm like, another one! Another plus is I used to worry she was faking her orgasms. She was, for sure. Now I believe them. Now, who would she fake it for? Like the vibrator? He's like, what's wrong, baby? Does anyone use the other 5 settings? Anyone? No one? Trying to not look at women individually. For this very probing survey. You, what is it? Make the sound. I feel like we all use the first one. Or, okay, the first 3. If you have the nice, like, Texas Instruments edition that has, like, the different speeds, those are good, right? That bzz, 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 right? Beginning, intermediate, double diamond. You gotta work your way up, build those calluses. But ours isn't as nice. Ours is the Amazon's choice, whatever. Just 10,000 ratings, 4.5 stars. Concerningly good return policy. I don't know. Like, I can just send this back? That's a weird thing to upcycle. Well, I'll splurge for fresh off the lot, but... Ours is 6 settings, and the first setting is the only one that matters. Just that unrelenting, just that bzzz, right? The next 5 are a distress call in Morse code. It's just bzz, 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 and then you're connected to dial-up. And I am not advocating for getting rid of the other settings. What frustrates me is there is one button. That's it. So when you miss the setting, you just have to keep clicking back around, and you keep clicking and missing and click. You know, like a ceiling fan? You're like, is that off, or is that just... It's still spinning. It could just be momentum. Maybe just one more. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, mother, father. Okay. Matzo balls. Okay, so it's off before. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Is it 3 or 4? It's either 3 or 4 because it's still spinning. Should I stick my hand in there? Or... All while trying to maintain an erection. That's the feeling. From my perspective. Hey, if I can file one formal complaint about women's orgasms, it's not that they take too long to happen. It's that they take too long about to happening. That right before part. It's always long. Have you ever watched a cat throw up? Just keeps going. Just that. Just watching, just like... Don't know why I rushed over here. Okay. Well, if we still got time, let's just scoot you over to the hardwood, and then we can use the Swiffer instead of the OxyClean. Stop backing up. Don't back up. Stop backing up. That one's fun for me, because the next time you see a cat throwing up, you're gonna think about a woman coming. And the next time you see a woman throwing up, you're gonna think about a cat coming. We got a cat recently. We have a cat. My fiance and I. We don't want kids yet. We got a cat and an IUD. That's our Christmas photos, the 4 of us in funky sweaters, you know. The IUD is pretty great. Any IUDs in the crowd? Nice. Glad you got through the metal detector. That's fun. I didn't know about IUDs. I didn't know what they were or how they worked, and I assume the women here are already familiar, but I'm a man, so I'm going to explain it with more confidence and less accuracy. So what it is, it's this little T-shaped rod wrapped in copper coils. It goes up into the uterus. I don't know how. I think it's like one of those ship in a bottle type mysteries. You're like, how does that fit in there? Like, I can't tell you. Trade secrets, you know. But it's great because before she was on the pill, that's just wild. It like makes your body think it's already pregnant. So even if an egg gets fertilized, the uterus is just like seats taken, right? And it just keeps going. But IUD, it's way simpler. It goes up there, and then you can leave it. It's not where it is, huh? Okay. I'm like a Texas governor. I'm like, I don't know where it is, and I don't want to know. That's between you and God. Your body, my choice. Okay. IUD. It goes up there, and then you can leave it there for like 10 years before it turns into a diamond. And I was asking her about it. I was like, okay, so what kind of hormones does it release? She said, no, there's no hormones. It's just copper wire. And I was like, well, how did your gynecologist/electrician explain this steampunk cervix? What is it, magic? Is it a horcrux? Are there side effects? And she said, well, because it's non-hormonal, all I had with mine was for a few days after they put it in, there was like a rusty discharge and some mild discomfort, and that was it. And I said, that's crazy. Rusty discharge is my porn name. I got it from a website. It was that or Childish Gambino, but that was taken. It's copper, that's it. That's all it is. There's no medicine. Just like, hey, paper beats rock, copper beats baby. I don't know, you know? I like to think it's up there like a little Olympic gymnast holding the Iron Cross, just like, I got this, just focus on your career. They're trying to make IUDs for men. I'm excited about that. So what they have now is it's a polymer gel that they inject into your vas deferens, and it hardens and creates a barrier that sperm can't pass through. So it's like a fat kid stuck in a water slide kind of thing. They caulk your cock. And it's cheap, it's easy, and it's so painless you can walk home after getting it done. It's a little dangerous with that big cone around your neck, but just, be wary of your periphery. I'm a big fan of how many, medical breakthroughs were by accident. And I know this because I have a background in medical sales. In college, I would sell Adderall to my roommates, so I'm very qualified to speak on this. Like, a good one is penicillin. Penicillin naturally occurs in mold like you would find on old bread, and it was discovered when a doctor forgot to clean up his laboratory before taking a 2-week vacation. That is the father of modern antibiotics. Just some sloppy doctor like, yeah, buddy, spring break 1928, I contracted and cured syphilis. Viagra was also an accident. You know how Viagra started? Anyone know this one?
Blood pressure.
Blood pressure, that's right. That was fast. Do you use it for one or both of those? Oh, okay. That's right, it was a heart medication. That's how it started. That's what they thought it was gonna do. Handing it out like, yeah, this should help with your blood pressure. Like, I keep getting boners. And the doctor's like, fascinating. Diane, change the labels. Yeah. To boner pills. Actually, they might have discovered it earlier on. I don't know, during the clinical trials, that's even better. They were just giving it out to a bunch of dudes at once and leave them in a room for a couple hours, Doctor saunters back in with a clipboard, just like, all right, if anyone's feeling any side effects, please raise your... I was gonna say hand, right? And all the guys are trying to cover it up, they don't know what's happening, right? And there's just one dude in the corner in a wafty white gown just letting that flag fly. And a researcher has to walk up like, sir, you took the placebo. I was like, hey. Contact high? I don't know, I'm just happy to be here. I learned from a nurse after a show, there's another use of Viagra. They also give it to premature babies, and not just as a prank. It's a vasodilator, so it helps the blood flow and legitimately saves lives. But my first question was, can it do the other thing to a baby? And he said, yeah, that does happen sometimes. How fun is that? How just an obstetrician walking past the NICU, and from the back crib, she just hears a, hey, toots, right? She turns around, there's an infant in a hard hat. Like, hey, what you doing later, huh? Just got out of vagina trying to get back in one, if you know what I'm saying. Also, what's this copper thing? It came out with me. What is this? A pogo stick for hamsters? Is this 3PO's tonsils? 99% my ass. Okay. Oh, what's another one? Oh, Propecia has a similar thing. So Propecia is the only drug that's really been proven to prevent and reverse hair loss in men. And it started as a pill for men with enlarged prostates. And the hair regrowth, just a side effect they noticed. And they're like, so how's your prostate feeling after that medicine I gave you? I was like, teeny. A little background on this next one. C. diff is a bacterial infection of the intestines. It's a nasty thing for people who get it. It's caused often by antibiotics. They'll kill all of the bacteria in your gut, and kind of create this power vacuum for C. diff to take over. It turns her intestines into like post-Soviet Russia. Like, you got rid of the bad guy, but now you have trouble with Putin. And the most effective cure we have for C. diff right now is a procedure known as fecal transplants, which is exactly what it sounds like. So what they do is they take a small amount of a healthy person's stool and they put it into your intestines, and those new bacteria will push out the old bacteria. It gentrifies your colon. And this works, and it's very exciting because as far as I'm aware, this is the first medical treatment that was invented by two third graders insulting each other on a playground. And they were just like, I hope you get diarrhea, and then someone takes their poop and they stick it up your butt and they mix it with your poop, and a doctor just runs up like, what did you just say? Okay, I'll do one more medical one. Otherwise, this legally becomes a symposium. I get a lot of heartburn. I've had heartburn since I was 4 years old. I've taken everything you can take for it. Omeprazole, lansoprazole, Xanax, Ambien, Vicodin, Tums. Fuck Tums. I don't trust Tums. I think Tums are just sweet tarts that went through gay conversion therapy. I think that's what Tums are. One of my favorite things to take for heartburn is baking soda. You can just swallow a pinch. You can mix it with water if you're a pussy, but if you're a man, you can just do it straight. And it's been great for me because I travel a lot. Whenever I fly, I always try to bring with me a little Ziploc bag full of baking soda. Hey, you guys are fun. You get it. I would like to stress something here. I am not into cocaine. It's not my thing, but it is difficult to convince a stranger of that because I look like I flip ski lodges, right? Looks like I have Cafe de Monde in my sinuses right now. And I had an incident where I went through airport security. I go through the machine, and there's a guard holding my bag, and he says, "Sir, is this yours?" And I say, "Yes." He says, "Okay, come with me real quick. We're gonna look through it." So he brings me over, he plops my bag down, unzips it, reaches in like a candy crane, and pulls out this little baggie full of white powder. And I was just like, oh, shoot. Okay, yeah, okay. I know what that looks like, but it's not. And he says, "I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to show this to my boss." And I said, "Okay, this probably sounds crazy, but can I show you something with that really quick? And in case you're wondering how white I am," he goes, "Yeah, sure." And he hands it to me. So I take it from him, unaware of my privilege, and I say, "Check this out. My dad was a chemist. I can prove it's not that." So I reach in, I scoop out a small handful, and I start sprinkling it out of my fingers. And I said, "You see that? If this was cocaine, I wouldn't do that." Hey, thank you all so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Last July in Japan, you said, "Baby, I've got a plan." Well, you've got legs like a marzipan, unleash darkness like contraband.